Shalom, shalom. Kal halalim la abanawa Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawshai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawshai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawshai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000. Blessings to you, wherever you are at, as well as the 1/3. Blessings to you also. And Abaratazah, we all hope to be part of that number, be part of the elect. But first and foremost, all praise to Yahweh Hashem Shai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the prophets of their body, and shalom to the 144,000. Came across this story. Southern California woman allegedly deleted by husband over affair, investigators say. Now, by looking at the woman, she looks like Northern Kingdom. She could be Southern Kingdom. Or she was involved or had children with a Northern Kingdom Jake by the last name of Perez. Her surname is Gersi or Goesi. I Googled it, and it comes to either Vietnamese or Asian or so-called Middle Eastern, because these last names are scattered to, quite numerous countries around the world. Certain last names are. Nevertheless, she was having an affair with a man by the name of Charles Dark. Now, surname Charles Dark. Now, I'm assuming possibly a Jake. I'm not sure. There aren't any pictures. Actually, I haven't even seen the video. Let's see if the pictures come out. All right. But the fact of the matter is, the Most High was not pleased. And if this situation involves three individuals, one is definitely a Jake Perez. And if the woman is an Israelite too, as well as the man she was having an affair with, this is a big no-no, pursuant to the book of Exodus, where having adultery is a big sin. It's a big one. These sins are pushed amongst the Israelite community heavily by the powers that be, the record producers, the directors and movie directors and writers of movies and so-called hit shows. A lot of our people sell out to push everything that's against the scriptures, because in this world everything is good. Everything that is good is evil, and everything evil is deemed as good. For example, like being a sodomite is deemed an alternative lifestyle when it's a death style. Okay, and pursuant to the book of Leviticus 20:13, you're supposed to delete those kind of individuals. All right, and also in this world where you can, if you're a man of substance and you can't afford to have numerous wives and look after them under the biblical standard, if you are an Israelite male, you're deemed as a someone who's a so-called womanizer, or someone who's a what do they call them? Misogynist, I believe the term is. I think. Right. Basically, they just think that you're an individual that's kind of trying to live that player lifestyle under the guise of the Bible. Basically they just deem everything that's righteous evil in this world, and everything that's evil righteous. So that's why old school tracks push a lot of adultery. Me and Mrs. Jones got a thing going on, and if you listen to the the instrumental and the music of it, it is beautiful. All the instruments that are being playing in the background, but the words, because Jake has got that soul and the spirit. Jake makes evil sound beautiful, even on a record. That's the the spirit Jake has. Even push, kind of like a Pied Piper leading everybody astray. That's why they call R. Kelly the Pied Piper or whatever. All right. I'm not diminishing the wickedness of Esau, because Esau is behind all this, because this is their world, and they pay our people to go off. All right, they pay our people to go off and to push wickedness. All right, and the Most High is not with it. Okay, and then our people think that if you're not happy with your husband, what are you supposed to do? You just find yourself another man. Well, that man could be, instead of you being a comfort to him, you just diminish him and forget about him, and listen to a whole lot of bullshit ass music, and think that you can have a hot girl summer, and you can just forget about him and forget about your children, right? And just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to get involved with somebody else. And any man that gets involved with a woman that has a man and they're fresh, so-called out of a relationship, right? Or the man still has feelings for her, right? You're not supposed to get involved in situations like that. If you know that she has a man, all right, and she is involved with him, okay, and they're going through certain procedures to separate, divorce, or whatever the situation may be, you still don't get involved, all right? That's why the Lord is testing you out, because Yahweh Shemeshai gives you that information, and the Lord says, okay, let me give him this information to let him know that, okay, this lady is still involved, she has children, and the woman might have mentioned to even the man she's getting involved with that, yeah, my husband or ex-husband or whatever the situation may be, or the husband I'm separated from, right? And it says here husband, right? Her husband, is a hothead, and the person that it was involved with the woman still takes the bait of still, because in his mind he's just thinking about, he's just thinking about, what's between her legs, right? Because he just wants to hit it, you know. He's not thinking with his big brain, thinking with his big head, you know. Um, that was a test on his part that he failed. But nevertheless, she was married, she had children, all right. In this world, right, you can get involved with a woman. No man that I know of, not that we have really detailed conversation like that. You don't really have a virgin, man, unless you really catch the girl at a young age. If you're a 16-year-old man and she's a 16-year-old girl, you meet at school, you take her virginity, then she's yours, right? But for the most part, you meet a woman, she's in her early 20s, you're in your mid 20s or whatever, and she's already been popped by someone, right? So every woman has been sort of tainted. But in this case, you know, this guy, the way I see it through the spirit is that, most men are involved as some, as they say, you know, you know, you're not her first, it's basically, it's just your turn to deal with a woman, you know. Um, a woman is like a taxi, everybody takes a ride, right? And, you know, this man, the way I see it is like he was involved with a lady. He knew she was married and he was still, dealing with it. Well, he should have said, you know what, forget about it, all right? Because, get yourself another woman, You're not going to find a virgin. You might, I don't know. But for the most part, that's a hard thing in this world, But she was blatantly involved, okay? And you shouldn't have touched her, all right? I'm just going to play the vid, then we'll go through a couple of scriptures.
A man and a woman allegedly having an affair are killed in a crash. Police say their car was struck by the woman's husband. Good evening. This is the KTLA 5 News at 5:30. I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Micah Olma. That deadly crash happened in San Bernardino after the husband reportedly confronted his wife.
KTLA Shelby Nelson live in San Bernardino and has more on the investigation. Shelby.
Sure, Micah, this is being called a love triangle that took a turn for the worse. And according to that woman's family, she was a church-going woman, a mother of 3, who was in the process of...
She was a church-going woman. You're right. Okay, she was a church-going woman. Okay, let's go to some scriptures. Where was it? Salakia, where is it? Exodus, book of Exodus, adultery. Exodus 20:14, King James Version. Exodus 20:14. Is it 2014, was it? No. Thou shalt not commit adultery. thou shalt not. That's one of the commandments, right? And this woman is meant to be A church-going woman. All right, she's meant to be a church-going woman.
Trying to family. This is being called.
This is why this is the reason why a lot of people don't go to the church anymore. They don't believe in the church anymore. They just go there for a song and dance, a whole lot of hoopla. It's basically it's just a club. That's all it is. It's just a club. People go to the church, and they say, "Oh, she was a church-going woman. She was a church-going woman with children, yeah, but yet she was, dealing with another man. But she was a church-going woman. They're trying to, this is your modern day so-called wacky-tacky Christian woman.
Called a love triangle that took a turn for the worse. And according to that woman's family, she was a church-going woman, a mother of 3, who was in the
3 children, church-going woman. And yet she didn't know about Exodus 20:14. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
process of trying to leave her husband. At the intersection of Paris Hill Park Road and Pacific Street in San Bernardino, a memorial symbolizes what tragic event happened here just over a week ago. A man and woman now identified as 25-year-old Asia Guerci and 31-year-old Charles Dark were both found dead inside a vehicle after what appeared to be a crash. Mangled guardrail and a damaged fence show what's left.
I don't know, man. They haven't showed the guy's face. I'm suspecting it could be Jake, Southern Kingdom, but then again, if they haven't showed the guy's face, I know they might show it later on. It could be an Edomite. Only the Lord knows. But nevertheless, she did wrong, and he did wrong. Hence the reason why they got deleted by the Lord.
From the impact, San Bernardino police were called out just after. This is what tragic event happened here just over a week ago. A man and woman now identified as 25-year-old Asia Guerci and 31-year-old Charles Dark were both found dead inside a vehicle after what appeared to be a crash. Mangled guardrail and a damaged fence show what's left from the impact. San Bernardino police were called out just after midnight on January 26th, but eventually determined that this was much more than an accident. This was a homicide. Police say the suspect, identified as 31-year-old Isaac Albert Perez, ran his wife Asia and the man who she was having an affair with and who is believed to be her co-worker off the road. Perez is accused.
Yeah, there you go. She was having an affair with her co-worker. And Asia Guerci, she's more than likely Southern Kingdom, and the guy she probably had an affair with, Charles Dark, it's probably another Jake. Hence the reason. I don't know why they haven't showed his face. Usually, if it's a so-called black man, they will show the face. I don't know. I'm either here or there about it, but through the Spirit, I believe it's probably a Jake anyway. Hence the reason why the Lord dealt with him in such a severe manner. So there you go, man. You see, when women work, it's just another ground for women just to have affairs. Because men don't care, man. You got to understand. Your woman works and stuff like that, and then on top of that, you're working, and she spends more time with men at her job than she does with her own husband. This is why affairs are rampant, man. And she's meant to be a church-going woman. Why did they add the church-going part for? I mean, they're just trying to add to the fact that the church ain't working. I mean, what are you guys teaching in the church? Just more prosperity doctrine and bullshit. Charles Dark.
Of confronting the two about the affair at Paris Hill Park before they drove off. Not far from there, police say Perez rear-ended his wife and Dark, sending the vehicle they were in through the fence and into this flood channel. Perez was later arrested, the San Bernardino County District Attorney charging him with 2 counts of murder, to which he has pleaded not guilty. Meantime, Asia's sister created this GoFundMe account to help pay for funeral expenses. Her sister saying that Asia was a mother of 3, taken by the father of her kids and a man she'd been with for 11 years. Court records show that Asia filed for a restraining order against Perez back in 2021, citing domestic violence, but a judge denied it. In a statement to the LA Times, Guerci's sister says Guerci was in the process of leaving her husband. As for Asia's love interest, KTLA has reached out to his family for a response. Now, we have also reached out to the San Bernardino County coroner, and officials there tell us that both victims are believed to have been killed because of blunt force trauma. That's the injuries that they say were causes of death. Reporting live from San Bernardino, I'm Shelby Nelson, KTLA 5 News.
I mean, she was meant to be married, right, to this guy Perez. Obviously, she wasn't donning his last name as well. I mean, she was in the process of divorce, but I guess um, the family probably possibly asked them not to use his last name on her because they don't want nothing to do with him. Well, that's her maiden name anyway, Gersi, Asia Gersi. All right, and Perez, you know, deleted her, his wife, and her lover. 3 children and 11 years of marriage. And she was having an affair with her co-worker. All right. Adultery. Voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and a person who is not their spouse. Voluntary, okay? She was not forced. She was not held at gunpoint, knife point, machete point, wherever you want to point, right? Whatever point, okay? She willingly, all right? Voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person, the woman, and a person who is not their spouse. She was committing adultery with a much younger man, okay? And it's and it's given from look how they say it as well. She was committing adultery with a much younger man. you know, that's the definition of adultery there. You know, and it also goes on the man too. If a man knows that a woman is married and you still try and go for her regardless, you look at her saying, "Oh, she's got nice hair, she's got pretty skin, nice lips. She got a nice body. She's she wants it, man. She wants it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it." And you still go for it, you're out of order yourself. You're out of order yourself. When you knowingly do that kind of stuff, what more can you say? It's just disgusting, man. Because when you do stuff like that, as our elders say, man, you're a momo. You're going behind a man, her husband, that's been, ravishing her, kissing her, sucking them titties, kissing her thighs, maybe even going down on her. She's going down on him, you know, she's, swallowing his seed or whatever, she's taking seed up her. And here you are going right behind him. What's that making you? It makes you a momo. All right. And the Lord is not with this. Proverbs 6:34. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. Okay. Doesn't it say also the scripture say the Lord is a jealous power? All right. Let's go there as well. The Lord is a jealous power, King James Version. Now, the things that we Israelites have gone through, all right, and a lot of us have come into the truth, so the Lord is still putting us through the ringer, but in a different format compared to what we were being put through before, which was slightly way, way, way more worse, okay, because the Lord is, dealing with us now to, dealing with us, and he's given his name, which is a source of comfort. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakak Wadash. We're the Lord's woman spiritually. All right. We're the soul bride. Okay. We committed spiritual adultery against Yahweh Hashem Yashai by, for example, when Jakes were in Egypt, the first Exodus, what were they doing? They couldn't get rid of that Egyptian shit, the Hamite shit, worshipping bulls and cows and all that shit, worshipping, doing idolatry. And to this day, Jake is in them crazy churches, mosques, Buddhist temples, marrying women of other nations. And there's nothing wrong with having women of other nations. You just don't follow their doctrine. And if you do live together, you tell your woman to put that shit away. All right? Not to do that. Okay? So what we did was, we committed spiritual adultery. Hence the reason why the Lord put us through captivity after captivity after captivity. You think about how angry Yahweh Hashem Yashai was, man. The Lord sacrificed his only begotten son. His Majesty Yahweh Shai went through so much, yeah? Went through so much, Yahweh Shai went through. Being spat upon, the stress, the beatings, the stabbings, whipped. And I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg. being in pain for an excruciating amount of time, and then gave up and then gave up the spirit, then was risen again after 3 days, conquering death. The Lord Yahweh Shai sacrificed him. The Lord Abanawa Yahweh, his supreme majesty, sacrificed his son to redeem the elect of Israel, man. And here Jakes were following different doctrines, worshipping gods of wood and stone. All right, which our fathers never knew. All right, and then in captivity, what happened to us, man? Our women got taken, the little children got raped, little boys got sodomized by heathen nations, especially so-called white man Esau. Jake men got sodomized, their penises cut off, their rods cut off. The skin taken off their bodies and used as leather to make wallets and jackets. Their heads cut off. You see those movies where people are buried up to their heads in sand? Where do you think they get that from? They used to do that to Israelite men, black, Hispanic, and native. Put them in the sand with their heads just showing, and Esau would kick their faces to see if their head would come off their shoulder, be ripped off. Using horses, one on each side, to rip Jake in half like a piece of paper. Lynchings, burnings, feeding our children to alligators, throwing Jake off the ships, slave ships, to be fed by sharks, so for sharks could eat them. I'm just touching on the tip of the iceberg. That's how angry Yahweh was, with us. So how much more his creation, especially the Israelite man? Exodus 34:14. For thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, whose name is jealous, is a jealous power, a jealous God. All right? Okay? That lets you know we have the same. If the Lord can have these feelings, like Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. Don't you think his creation has the same kind of feelings, especially the Israelite man? Huh? Proverbs 6:34 again. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. And the Lord used Perez as an instrument to delete his adulterous wife and that piece of shit lover of hers. Okay? Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perisheth, Salakia. Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Okay, so people get deleted, right? As whatever they do, whether they're babies, toddlers, or children, or adults. Okay, seeing little children and all that kind of stuff, especially Israelite children, is a hard thing for most Jake men to swallow that pill, because they're children. Because the Lord made us in a way where we're real merciful people, Israelites in general, especially the Israelite man. But we got to swallow that pill of harshness, knowing that Yahweh Shai knows what they did in their past life. Hence the reason why they go in such a gruesome way. That's the reason why you see a lot of people, you come back in reincarnation every third or fourth generation. You see motherfuckers being deleted at birth, or coming out born with 3 legs and 2 heads and shit. Coming out looking odd looking. They come out with no waist. They're just in a wheelchair all their life, with where they got no legs, genitals or whatever. They come out odd looking, with sort of like deformed type features. Okay, they might have they may have got away with it in their past life, what they did, but they, Galatians 6:7, you reap what you sow. So therefore, they came back in the following life, and the Lord put him in a wheelchair. The Lord gave him 4 arms, 4 legs, or whatever. The Lord gave him like 4 thumbs. The Lord gave him no eyesight. The Lord, gave him no nose. The Lord put him in a situation where they'll be born and they'd die in a gruesome way, an unhonorable death. I mean, you're banging somebody else's wife, and the bitch is letting it happen, right? She's letting it happen, and you think that's an unhonorable way to die. That's what you're going to be remembered for. A church-going woman who had 3 children, 11 years of marriage, was opening her legs up to her co-worker. And Charles Dark, you definitely have a dark soul. Your last name matches your spirit. That's why, you've been deleted, Job 4:7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, where were the righteous cut off? All right. Deuteronomy 32:39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. All right. Movies like Final Destination, they show you when your ticket's going to get punched, your ticket's going to get punched. They try and avoid death. They don't go on the roller coaster. They don't go in that, they don't eat that certain food or whatever. They don't go in the car at a certain time, or, they don't get in the vehicle with a certain friend, because they foresee their death. And then at the end of the movie, what happens? They still die, but they just die a different way. You can't get away from Yahweh Hashem Yashai when the Lord is out to get you. You're talking about the creator of heaven and earth. That's why, as the scriptures say, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, Yahweh Hashem Yashai. Do you realize you're talking about the power of heaven and earth that create everything? And you think that you can dodge the Yahweh Hashem Yashai? It's a scary thing, man. Very scary. And here you are thinking, oh man, just the thought of it. Just the thought of, thinking that you can pull one over Yahweh Hashem Yashai. Oh, the Lord won't see me, man. Let me hit this thing. What's your man got to do with me? All that kind of shit Jake fucking, likes to replicate what that dumbass Snoop Dogg says in some of his raps. Proverbs 6:32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman, but whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. The man lacked understanding. He worked with a woman. So are you telling me they're not commiserating and talking at the cafeteria, lunchtime, going out for cigarette breaks, which I'm sure they smoked? They probably even finished work and oh yeah, do you want to have a quick spliff with me? Whatever, or let's go for a quick drink. And she phones home or whatever, babe or whatever, or wherever the children are. Baby said, oh, I'm going to be an hour late. She has a quick drink and they're talking and commiserating. And she's talking everything about her personal life to him. And he's trying to comfort her. And he knows that she's married. And still, man, because this modernization, this modern church, this modern way of thinking, Babylon has made people think that, banging a married woman is okay. You think it's okay to bang a married woman. All right. When there's so many single women out there, you're not going to find a virgin, but at least try and find a woman that has no man. Has no man. She hasn't come out of a relationship a month before, and the motherfucker, some crazy so-and-so is around her outside her house, stalking her. Get away from that shit. Okay? Either way, listen, man, if the Lord is going to get you that certain way, the Lord's going to get you a certain way. All right? Okay? But the elect men are not going to get caught out in this. If a certain Jake desires a woman, the Lord will put a woman in that Jake's pathway, which will be a single woman, no commitments. All right? So Jake, can get his needs met, and that woman can get her needs met. All right? But those of you that the Lord wants to set traps and snares because of your previous wrongdoings, the Lord's going to get. Proverbs 6:32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. Okay? Deuteronomy 22, verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman, married to an husband, then they shall both of them die. But the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shall thou put evil from Israel. So let me read that again. If a man be found lying with a woman, married to an husband, which she was, all right, they were both found, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. All right, so the man and woman were put to death pursuant to the scriptures. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. Yahweh Shemashai deleted both of these two because he wants to get rid of that cancer, so it doesn't affect the rest of Israel. The Lord is making an example of people like this, all right, so it doesn't affect the Israelites. And more than likely they were an Israelite, the man she was dealing with, more than likely, you know. If he wasn't, he wasn't. But still, he committed adultery, and more than likely she was Jake. And obviously, the children they have are Israelites because the husband is a Northern Kingdom Jake. All right. Through the Spirit, I believe they were all Israelites, all three, the trio, the triangle. You know, the man she was messing with. And this is just a perfect example of Deuteronomy 22, verse 22, coming to pass. All right, whether he was a Jake or not, Charles Dark, the fact of the matter is, what she was doing was wrong. And the Lord, because even in the kingdom, when we got these heathens under our subjection, they still have to follow the laws. It's not like we're ruling in the kingdom and these these crackers are going to be roasting pig. These crackers are going to be sodomizing a pig. These crackers are going to be trying to sodomize each other because how Esau, the so-called white man, is it? They're sodomized by nature. They're gonna have to follow the laws in the kingdom. Okay, no Moabite, no Chinese person is gonna be roasting a mouse or a rat or a cat. You can't do that. They're gonna be following the laws. So these laws will apply to the heathen also, even though they're not Israelites, but they have to follow the laws of our land, which will be the entire planet Earth and beyond. All right. Okay, because the way Tony Montana said it, he wants everything in the world. He wants the world and everything in it. Well, for the Israelites, on the righteous side, the world is going to be ours and everything in it, and we're going to own it. And the earth and the universe, we're going to be the masters of the universe under the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. All right, so it's going to be our way or the highway. It's going to be our way or death. All right, you heathens are going to be under subjection for forever, but you Edomites are going to be under subjection for 1,000 years in a hellish condition, and then you're going to be deleted after 1,000 years, pursuant to the book of Obadiah 1 verse 18. I know I'm jumping here and there, but sometimes these different thoughts pop up in your mind when you're reading certain scriptures, because sometimes you just emphasize the fact that these laws, are very powerful, and the Israelites are in dire need of these laws and structures under the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. Hebrews 13 and 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High Yahweh will judge. Hey, and they were judged. Let's read it again. Marriage is honorable in all, right, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers, the Most High will judge. Okay, and judgment was given to where is she? This woman and her lover, her co-worker, Charles Dark. All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yashai, Bashem Makakwadash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala.